to our LakePoint Kids Online Family Experience. I'm Ms. Rachel, and if you're on site with us today, you know we're having our Christmas party today. We're dressing all festive and going to enjoy some snacks later on, but the most important thing we're doing today is partnering with the Hope Center here in town to help give some people a Merry Christmas. The Hope Center had 100 backpacks donated to them, along with a bunch of things that go inside of them, like hats, warm socks, mittens, flashlights, toiletries, crossword puzzles, and more. So we're going to take all these items, wrap them up, and pack them into the backpacks. Then the Hope Center will hand them out to people who are homeless or vulnerable and need some extra help this Christmas. We've been talking about what Christmas is these past few weeks here in LakePoint Kids, and if you need a little reminder, here you go. Christmas is celebrating Jesus, God's greatest gift. I'll count to 3 and we'll say it together. 1, 2, 3. Christmas is celebrating Jesus, God's greatest gift. And since we've been given such a wonderful, generous, and life-changing gift through Jesus, it makes sense that we give gifts to others too. And gifts can actually mean the physical objects, or gifts of time, or the gift of doing something for someone, or making something. My guess is you guys have already been busy getting ready to do that for family and friends, but it's also important to give gifts to people who really need it and who can't pay you back, like God did for us. We really needed Jesus to come to forgive us of our sins, and no matter what we do, we can't pay him back for that. I've got a short book that will help to illustrate what I mean. It's called The Pine Tree Parable. Now, if you remember, a parable is a simple story used to share a spiritual lesson. Jesus told parables in the Bible, and while this story itself isn't from the Bible, it teaches us something that is found in the Bible. All right, here we go. So The Pine Tree Parable by Liz Curtis Higgs, illustrations by Nancy Munger. Every spring, the farmer planted flowers. Every summer, he grew fruits and vegetables. Every fall, he harvested bright orange pumpkins. And every day of every year, the farmer grew the tallest, widest, biggest, greenest, loveliest crop of all, Christmas trees. The farmer and his wife began planting seedlings when their children were small. Each year the family grew, and so did the little pine trees. The trees were quiet, the children were noisy, but the farmer's wife loved everything that grew on the farm. One chilly November day, the time finally came to sell the pine trees to the neighbors. People bought the fine-looking trees, which soon filled many homes with the fragrance of Christmas. But the farmer's wife couldn't bear to part with one remarkable tree. It stood very tall and perfectly straight. Its long branches danced on the wintry air. The farmer's wife hung a tag on the pine tree, "Not for sale." She added a shiny gold star on top. Now the family could enjoy the tree day after day, year after year, Christmas after Christmas. The next holiday season brought more neighbors to the farm. The perfect tree was taller than ever. When the neighbors asked, "Oh, how much for this beautiful tree?" the farmer's wife just smiled and shook her head. "Sorry, it's not for sale." One Christmas Eve, when the farmer's children were children no longer, a family of 3 drove up in a rusty old truck. Their clothes were patched and their faces looked tired. They trudged up and down a row of trees that no one else wanted. The trees had missing branches and crooked trunks. Those trees were free. They were the only kind of Christmas tree the family could afford. The little child found her way to the tallest pine tree. She stood at the foot of it, looking up through the sweeping branches to the glistening star on top. "Oh my," she sang out, "can we buy this one?" Her parents were embarrassed. They knew they could never afford it, and the farmer's family was also embarrassed. They knew it too. But the little girl didn't know the cost. She only knew that it was the most wonderful pine tree in the world. "Please," was all she could say. The little girl was so poor, yet so full of hope. What could the farmer's wife say to her? What could she do? The farmer's wife took a deep breath. "I'm sorry," she said. "The tree is not for sale, but we'd like you to have it as a gift." The little girl's parents could not speak a word. What a kind and generous gift. The farmer's wife didn't even know them. They were strangers. The farmer smiled at his wife. "Well done," his smile seemed to say. "The gift is good." As the farmer took his saw to the bottom of the trunk, the child could not keep her joy inside. She leaped up and down. Hooray, hooray, the tree is ours! The farmer's wife watched her favorite pine tree as it fell to the snowy ground. Tears shone in her eyes. She brushed them away like snowflakes. Yes, it was a great sacrifice, but it brought even greater joy. Isn't that just like Christmas? The farmer's wife took something very special to her and gave it to someone who was in need. If you remember, there were short, stubby, crooked trees that were for free, but the farmer's wife was willing to give the best tree away. You know, the Bible talks about when we do something for someone else, it's like we're doing it for Jesus. When we give something to someone else, it's like we're giving it to Jesus. And when we help someone, it's like we're helping Jesus. And so knowing that, the farmer's wife gave her very best. So today, when you help wrap up and pack up backpacks, I want you to do your very best, to think as if you are doing this for Jesus. Whatever you do this Christmas and each day forward, remember all that Jesus has done for you and how much He loves you. And remember that each time you have the opportunity to do something, give something, help someone, to do it all for Jesus. When you do that, you'll be honoring Him and showing His love to others. It's time to bring it home now with your small group time, so long as your parent listened to today's instructions. First, give some thought and come up with something that you can do for someone this Christmas that meets a need and that can't be repaid. Then make sure to do it before Christmas is here. All right, press pause, enjoy discussion, and then come back for the second set of instructions. Next, get out your craft supplies and make a new ornament for your Christmas tree with something to help you remember the lesson from today. Maybe it's the word give or gift, or a picture of a Christmas tree, or a backpack with the word hope on it to represent the Hope Center. Parents, now is the time to either scan the QR code on the screen or head over to the LakePoint app to fill out our online connection card. Signing your guest book lets us know who is watching and helps us stay connected to you. It also allows you to sign up for our latest LakePoint initiatives and opportunities. So kids, while your parents are busy doing that, why don't you see if you can think up 30 words that have to do with Christmas? Just a reminder that you can go back and watch your favorite LakePoint Kids online family experiences on our YouTube channel or on our LakePoint app in the Family Resources section. Thanks for tuning in today, friends. I'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Remember, check back next week for our Christmas Eve special.